Man is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. And we are celebrating our legends right here, Jersey, baby. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media. Jersey, you know I love you. Jersey, you know we got bars and we got music and we got legends all day. And if you believe in Jersey and you love Jersey like I do, support that Heritage Hip Hop on all social media platforms. This is Redman and I approve this message.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast that not only cares about this culture, it represents this culture. Welcome back to the podcast that not only cares about you, but we bring you your future favorite artists today while celebrating the culture. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with esteemed pleasure that I introduce myself to you again. My name is Karev, and I welcome you to Heritage Hip Hop, where not only hip hop is the conversation, but celebrating those who keep the culture paramount and not in their pockets is what we do. And today I have an artist on that represents this culture correctly. Before we get into all that, I ask you, please hit the like button. Let the algorithm know that we're here, first and foremost. Hit the like. Your comments can be included into the show. Make sure you join us today. Not only that, make sure you visit heritagehiphop.com. Follow Heritage Hip Hop on all audio and visual media as we build this platform to be one of the premier, if not the premier platform where we have confident hip-hop conversation, but insightful hip-hop dialogue that moves the culture forward. And today, I have a person who represents New York, but not the way the boroughs do it, but the way the nation and the culture does it. Wordplay, lyricism, stories, insight, and most importantly, if you don't have him in your playlist, not only are you missing good music, you're missing life lessons, because hip-hop is about life, and life builds off experience and cultural insight. Please, my man, introduce yourself to the people.
Yo, dope intro, man. What up, y'all? I go by the name of JReadi, man. Yeah, I'm from Strong Island, New York. Rapper, entrepreneur, businessman. You know what I mean? I'm just here vibing. We kicking it.
When people usually talk about hip hop from New York or whatever, people always ask you, what got you into hip hop, or what made you do this, what made you do that?
Mhm.
I don't do that. I like to do that in a different way by circulating about who you are. So my first question to you is, instead of asking you about Strong Island and history, EPMD,
Yeah. Well, at least you know it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people do sleep on the island. We got so many legends. I feel like the golden era of hip hop, Long Island had a big role in that, and sometimes it gets overlooked. So I'm glad you kind of brought that up and shit.
Yeah, but here's the question that people don't understand about where you're from. Your era and your geographical home, when it comes to hip hop, is known more for harder beats than the boroughs had at one time. Let's talk about beats, because I could ask you, when did you start rhyming? When did you start, What about the beats that come from where you're from makes being a lyricist more rewarding than somebody who just raps on beats where you're from?
Yeah, like where I'm from, again, like a lot of the legends came from, and like a lot of the hip hop pioneers, whether they said or was proud to be from Strong Island or not, they came from Strong Island, like the EPMDs, like the Rakims, De La Soul. So a lot of their beats, even Biz Markie, a lot of, this is the golden era of hip hop. This is gritty. This is boom bap. This is sample based. This is instrumentation, like all of these things. So, even me growing up in the 2000s, I'm a 90s baby. I grew up in the 2000s. I took a lot of that style early on, you know what I mean, from the pioneers of this thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, as far as beats go, like, That's why even to this day, even when the culture changed, I could jump on anything, but I always loved that hip hop, boom bap, traditional kind of sound.
But see, even when we do the history of Strong Island, you have rock influence, you got boom bap influence, you got funk influence, you even
Mhm.
have jazz influence.
Right.
So a lot of people come from the era where people either had something that they had a program in contemporary hip hop, or people was beating on the walls and in the lunch tables or something. It was always something that made the rapper, the MC, want to cipher and want to jump in.
Mm.
What made you want to show the world your technique and not just be technical when rhyming?
Um, when you say technique, what do you mean as far as just the style?
Your style, because when you rhyme, your style is smooth, but you got a punch.
Right.
You're not a punchliner, but you have a punch,
Right.
which means you set people up for the goal of the rhyme, not rhyme to sound good as a goal.
Right. So yeah, for me, it's just the era I came up in again. Like something about coming from the 2000s. We're like the middle child, so we kind of got the best of both worlds. Like we was outside, but we was inside. We had the Dreamcast, the 64, but we was outside on our bikes. We the middle child. So even with the music, as you hear some of these 2000 artists, a lot of them, the lyricists, a lot of the good ones knew how to make great records, like the Jay-Z's, like the Nas's, who kind of took over that 2000s era. So I was heavily influenced by that. So like a lot of my joints, I'm a rapper. I'm a rapidy rapper, but I know how to give you a record as well. It's not just gonna be one of those. I'm just spitting technical and that's it. I'm gonna give you the hook. I'm gonna give you the vibes. I'm gonna give you the feel. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of it just comes from just my era and just my come up. You know what I mean? So I had to keep that gritty thing about it, but I still had to be able to give you some joints that you could feel.
So you say your era was the 64 era. So that means you were before anime and you were after. So you're in the blog era and word of mouth era, basically.
Yeah, the blog era, yeah.
So then
Right.
making good music then not only was about let me be hot, it was more than let me be known. It was let me make a statement because the world doesn't know where to find the good shit yet. And let me be one of the
Mm,
flag bearers. Am I correct?
facts, big facts.
Okay, so then tell me about the first time you hit the stage and you knew like this was for you.
Damn, that's a great question. First time I hit the stage and I knew it was for me, I want to say it was like 2008. Shout out to the Fly Guy family. I was part of a crew then. We had a whole big movement in Strong Island. And shout out to my brother Low. We used to go show to show, even state to state sometimes. We wasn't afraid to get on the road. We would hit up Atlanta. We would go to DC. We would go to these places. We did a lot of local shows as well. But just the feeling that I got on the stage. Like for me, I'm real laid back, I'm smooth, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But when I get on that stage, I'm like a whole nother beast. And it kind of allows me to open up and just, you know what I mean, be myself completely. So yeah, I want to say around 2008, 9, when I first started touching them stages, I knew like, okay, this just the feeling you get afterwards too is nothing like it. You know what I mean?
You know what I think? I think that I think that everybody says they love hip hop, but everybody doesn't really understand what hip hop truly is. Like for years we've heard who's going to bring New York back. But if you really look at it, New York hip hop kind of was destroyed from the inside out. And
Mm,
when New York hip hop was destroyed and all the other, and I'm not saying it was bad that the other regions came up. I'm saying when New York hip hop was destroyed by the media, it seemed like New York was fighting to hold on to what it created instead of being recognized by those on the outside who took control. Am I correct?
that sounds about right to me. Yeah, for sure.
So then as a person who's in hip hop, I want to ask you, how hard is it to come from a place that birthed the worldwide culture, yet the home of the culture doesn't even get recognized by the world it services.
Mm. I think it's very challenging. Even for New York artists to not really be played on the radio.
Right.
When you go down south, like I've been to these places. I got rapper friends, I got homeboys I grew up with that moved south, and it's like their culture is totally different. They'll play you on their radio stations. You know what I mean? New York is all politics and things like that. So yeah, I would say it could be discouraging, it's challenging, and it's probably the reason why a lot of the New York artists started switching their sounds up, just trying to fit in to what was trending or what was going on or what radio would play at the time.
Yeah, I mean, because in today's society, I think Cardi B would be the most recognized radio presence from New York, probably. But
Right.
then I think about the New York Underground. There's Notes 82. There's you. There's The Bad Seed, Honey De Niro. And those are just some of the names of great artists that's out now who I believe deserve that look. But it seems like if you don't have this
Right.
and this going on, it seems like you're lost in the shuffle of how are we going to create something while disarming the people from knowing who's around them. Because like I said, hip hop always was the voice of the people, but then it became the voice of the corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Big facts. Big facts. I think, once these labels, they started seeing how much potential this culture had, they kind of, they pimped it just like everything else. You know what I mean? And I guess us as artists, we just follow suit. We try to get in where we fit in. But yeah, they pimped the culture. And I think as artists, you got to figure out a way to, especially in this era now with the internet and everything, you got to figure out a way to be independent and be able to put your own stuff out there. You know what I mean?
So as an artist today, knowing that you go through a lot of hatred, I want to give you credit because New York to me is essential to hip hop, first and foremost.
Of course.
And New York to me is the Game of Thrones. Queens, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, whatever, right? Brooklyn, all that.
The Bronx, yeah.
Bronx, they always fighting each other in NYC to see who's the best.
Yeah, facts.
So then they're the NYC and the island is and that island, it seems to be more like who's the top there. But then you got Long Island, you got Yonkers that came through. Now you got Buffalo.
Right, upstate New York, yeah.
Yeah, and it shows you that even when people focus on New York City, New York is such a dichotomy of sounds that now we're starting to hear other pockets, and people are now calling for New York to re-evolutionize hip hop while growing into a new sound or new voices, because it still seems like everybody's living off 30 years ago. As a new artist, how does that affect you? What do you say about that?
I like what you said because that makes a lot of sense. A lot of the New York artists, maybe they are holding on to the past. You know what I mean? So you mentioned those areas, even like upstate Buffalo, New York, how Griselda came with I wouldn't even say a new sound. They came with that traditional boom bap, but it felt like New York wasn't doing it no more. I think we was chasing the trend. So they kind of just like brought it back to light. Like, listen, we're gonna keep it gritty. We're gonna keep it New York. I feel like the New York sound needs to be modernized at this point. We need to definitely update the files. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to all the the Griseldas, even like a lot of the younger New York rappers coming up that's kind of sticking to that boom bap, but trying to figure out ways to make it modern without going too drill or too trap.
Okay. Someone said, Size 9 said, we're dead wrong. We're dead wrong on what exactly? Because I'm gonna ask you a question. You the artist. He said, how can we modernize it? Make it modern like what? Well, here's my answer to your question, and I would like for you to answer this as an artist. Whenever you think about hip hop, you think about sounds and the changing of the sound. I think it's robbery that when you think about New York hip hop, we still, no disrespect to anybody, but we still talk about Pete Rock, Q-Tip. We still talk about Primo. We still talk about people who were hitting in the 90s. Who's the big producer in New York right now that represents this era?
Damn.
Who's our hit boy in Los area? Who's Kendrick Lamar's man? It's Thundercat. Who's the Thundercat in this right here? The thing is, there are great artists here, but there are great producers and beat makers here. But the thing is it the money that's not getting them the sound? Is it the recycling of, let me just get somebody new because we don't want to keep updating the sound, but by using the same producer? Who's the Apollo Brown of our era right now for this region? As an artist, when you think about this, how does that make you feel when you're working with credible producers, you make incredible music, but then people may listen to you or may not because of your name, and then want you to work with older artists or producers who will look at you like, I don't know if I could work with him. How does that affect you?
Right. Now that you just said something that's very eye opening too, because yes, we don't have we don't have those new producers. We don't have household producer names that represent New York. We got a lot of producers that's grinding, that's on the come up, that's doing a thing, but yeah, we don't have those go-to guys like back in the day with the Primos and everybody else. So that's a really good point. And I'm not even sure why. Me as a rapper, I'm not even sure why we don't have. And maybe it's maybe because we are chasing the sound. We chasing trends where we should be trying to come up with something creative, something different, something new. So that's a very good point.
Or maybe it's just that we need more podcasts like Heritage Hip Hop to instead of complaining about what's not in the culture, celebrate who is in the culture and get some of these voices known. So I want to build on something that you said. This is the Let's Build section of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for joining us on the Heritage Hip Hop podcast. Make sure you hit that like button and your comments can be joined into the show. Shout out to Size 9 because he says the whole purpose of hip hop is because we didn't have instruments, but we do now. So let's stop living off of excuses and let's build and make a sound. That's all I have to say. But let's build off of what this man said. And I want to ask you a question. Is regionality still important in hip hop to you?
I would say so. I would say so. I feel like wherever you from should represent a sound. Like back in the day when you heard Nas, it sounded like you was at Queensbridge. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like artists need to paint that picture of where they coming from and the environment that they in. So I think it's very important.
So then your region can create a newer understanding or a lens to look into your world to bring new essences to hip hop or new understandings to hip hop. You agree?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
What is hip hop missing musically that you feel you could bring to it because you're highlighting your region through your music and not just making music?
Just authenticity. Yeah, just speaking about where I'm really from, what I really do, what I'm really about. Like for me, I never wanted to glorify certain things that I didn't represent in my rhymes just to fit in the box. And I feel like a lot of artists do go that route. So I feel like wherever you coming from, you need to really represent who you are, what your city is about, and even touching on different topics and positive. I just feel like we got to uplift the culture at this point. I think even with the drill stuff and all of that, I think we need to kind of spin it and go a different route and start uplifting at this point. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is getting older. Even the artists, some of the like New York artists coming in are older now at this point. And that was never like a thing back in the day. You had to be 18, 19, 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? But now you're seeing like the Griseldas and all these guys coming in damn near 40. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you damn near 40, you got to at least have something to say.
I agree. Like, what is the biggest mistake you think an artist makes who's trying to create music as a new artist? What is the biggest mistake they make that you think helps them not get hurt and falls into the mix of being forgotten?
Just trying to sound like everybody else.
Okay.
Just, you know what I mean, going with the whatever's hot, the same cadence, same everything. Ain't got nothing about you that stands out. The artists I really like am inspired by is like the guys who did something different, the DMXs, the Eminems. Like these guys, when you hear them, you know who they are right away. They don't sound like anybody else.
You know what I miss? The greatest gift New York hip hop ever gave me was Video Music Box. Shout out to Ralph McDaniels. And what it did was, even though people came from New York and they had a boom bap sound, they were different. I'm from Jersey. Shout out to the Garden State. None of our artists sound the same. And more recently, probably because of the internet
What's
and the
going
drill
on
stuff.
here?
But when you think about New York, I used to get excited. My favorite episode of Video Music Box, I saw Method Man, and then right after him, I saw Rugged Never Smooth, and I said, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? And those are two of my favorite groups of all time, right? Then I saw Bone Thugs on Harmony, and then I saw, I think it was Do or Die, Twister. You know? And I want to ask you this as an artist. Did the playlist kill a lot of people's understanding of hip hop when the video show made you hear different hip hop from different regions?
What do you mean as far as like the playlist versus like actual seeing the visuals?
The playlist is whatever you put in, and then the algorithm picks a song for you. Whereas a
see.
video show, you sat down and
They
then you
they
see Cool
playing
G
what they
Rap,
playing, yeah.
LL, NWA, or you'll see a Kendrick, a Cole. Then you might see Nick Grant and then Lupe. Like it
Nick
just
Van
gave you
Dope.
all this stuff. Somebody cultivated that so you saw these different things instead of you just hearing things that are similar to what you heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the playlist killed it, but I think what you just said is what we kind of need right now too. Someone to curate a show or a program, because even with the radio, they just playing the same stuff that you don't want to hear. So if we had those platforms where they do cater to like real artists, different kind of sounds, I think that'll be dope right now. I think that's something that's probably needed. Because you're right, the algorithm, you put whatever you put in, now that's all you're gonna get and that's all you're gonna see. And we don't really have anything that we could look to, like a MTV or whatever it is, where they're just giving us what they're giving us, you know?
I'm gonna give you my honest take on something, and I'm gonna tell you, I give you and all the artists, especially the good artists, a lot of credit because you have been robbed of your gift being exactly what it is, and that's a gift. It's a talent. It's an art. And in American culture, people don't. The only art people seem to take joy in is death and porn. People are not celebrating music anymore. Music is a commodity. So you have a lot of my respect because you're putting your story, your blood, sweat, tears, and your mental power into something that may or may not be heard. I believe the streaming services actually demonetized your gift and made it harder for you to be appreciated. As an artist, what do you have to do to stand out so that you're not lost in the shuffle of a play button or a lost playlist that may or may not be heard?
I think you just these days you gotta be more visual. And even me, I'm trying to adapt to certain things because I'm not really a guy that's just gonna get on the phone and do different things besides rap, but it's kind of almost what you gotta do. You gotta be like a content creator these days to get your music heard. So I
Yeah.
think artists now are trying to figure out how to be both, or figure out how to do it in your way or your style.
I once heard somebody say music videos are played out.
It's crazy.
And now look at where we're doing, where people are going back to the visual being necessary.
Right.
It's so necessary now that rappers have podcasts. And not only are they fucking up the new music lane, they're fucking up my lane as somebody who loves the culture and wants to talk about the culture.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Do you think these artists having podcasts helps you or does it hurt you? Or maybe nothing, not at all either.
For me, it don't really hurt me. Um, I guess it's a lot of the older artists are starting to swing that way, and they're finding the money in it. So I don't think it's a bad thing for me. But like you said, if this is what you do, then it is. It's like, damn, like this is what I do, and you got this rapper who could barely articulate themselves doing a podcast. So it does take away from the real journalists and people like that. You know what I mean? For artists, I mean, it's just, as long as they're interviewing artists, it's just more platforms for us to jump on. You know what I mean? So it don't really affect us too tough. Especially if that's something like a lot of artists are starting to do anyway. I could go start a podcast next week and
Mm-hmm.
still be doing the music and everything else and hope that one of them things pick up.
Mm-hmm. So, being that you are a traditionalist from how you speak, who's the most important hip hop artist that taught you about hip hop? Whether it's a rhyme, a scheme, a beat, even a feeling. What artist touched you the most and helped you want to find your own voice to become heard by others?
Mm. I mean, there's more than one, but me growing up, of course, I got to say my uncle first. Rakim has been like a big inspiration, especially as I got older, because again, I grew up in like the 2000 era, and I'm like 12 years old, and I would tell the old heads who my uncle was, and they would bug out. And I'm just like, hey, my uncle, he cool. Like, you know what I mean? But then as I got older, like 14, 15, I'm like, damn, Unc is really like a legend for like I had no not that I had no idea, but I didn't realize the
The
stature.
magnitude. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the magnitude of how big Unc really was and how much he did for the culture and how impactful he was and still is. So definitely Unc first. And then I gotta say Jay-Z. Growing up in my era, it was between Jay and Nas. But Jay had the flash, the swagger, the girls, and like as a youngin', that's what we was on coming up in the streets. We wanted to be that fly nigga that got all the girls that play ball, rap, whatever it is. So I got a lot of like I learned a lot just watching Hove. And he's dope with it. Lyrically, he's incredible. Then he know how to give you a great song and he's good with his business. So Hove is definitely one of them ones. And then I would say Nas.
I read Rakim's book, right? I do a lot of reading. I mean, I'm sure you could tell how I speak. I'm very well thought. I take my time
Absolutely.
with stuff, and that's one book I really wanted to read because Rakim seems to be very mental. He's in his head a lot. So when you hear him speak, you have somebody with a lot of gravitas when it comes to what they're saying. Their words mean a lot. Same thing with Nas. Same thing with Jay-Z. My last question to you for the first part of this interview, how important are words to you? And when you express your words in your song, what effect and power do you want your words to have to the listener?
Words are very important. I'm very picky with my words, especially with rhymes. I'll go over a rhyme and pick it apart. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to the rhymes and the cadence or the way the words one syllable matches with the other syllable. So yeah, I'm very choosy and picky with what I say, how I say it, when I'm gonna say it. So yeah, absolutely. And then what was this? What else did you ask right after that?
The effect of the words themselves, like what power do you want your words to have to the listener? What effect are you looking for your words to have on them?
Are we talking rhymes or just when I speak?
Period.
Um, I would say I would want my words to be impactful. I would say I would want what I say to be inspirational and bring some kind of motivation in a way. Bring some hope, bring some light, bring some insight.
How we doing on the interview so far?
This is dope. I ain't never do an interview like this. This is dope.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to stay tuned. This is JReadi, and he got some music. See, we were just talking. We didn't touch on the music yet. We're going to touch on the music after this commercial. Make sure y'all stay tuned and check this out.
Where you get your hip hop from?
Yeah. What's up? This tribal trigger trench in the building. You already know. Nip, naughty.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Do Pray Kelly, right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Look, man, let me tell you something. Make sure you support Heritage Hip Hop, because without these brothers bringing you hip hop, we're not gonna stay informed, man, the way that we need to stay informed, man. And they're not just giving you hip hop, man. They're giving you the heritage of hip hop, right here, man. Yo, Karev, I see you. Heritage Hip Hop, man. Let's do it.
It ain't nothing like heritage hip hop.
Yo, thank you for joining us on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast tonight. We have JReadi, an artist from Strong Island in New York. Hip hop history is part of his DNA. But what are his goals when it comes to hip hop? Let's talk about that now. My question to you is this, when it comes to this part of the interview is, you come from hip hop royalty. Has that crown ever opened up roads for you that were the average person couldn't get in to you? Did it do that?
I'm gonna be very thoughtful when I answer this, because like, for me, my come up, like, I did a lot of it. I did most of it, all of it on my own. You know what I'm saying? I was inspired just by like what was going on outside at the time when I was growing up. Again, you know, of course, Unc is incredible and he is who he is. But like, I built a rapport in the streets. Me and my boy, we was coming up as a group. I had my CDs and posters all out in the hood. Like, I made a name for myself. And then I brought it to Unc's attention, like, yo, Unc, this is what I'm doing. Da, 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 da. And he would give me advice. He would sit down with me. We would get in the studio, but then it'll be like, it's back to the drawing board, or back to my grind. You know what I'm saying? It's like Unc didn't really hand nothing to me. I had to go out there and go get it. And I think that's why my sound, like, if you listen to how I rap and my music, I don't really sound, I mean, we may have some similarities, but I don't sound like my uncle. I sound like JReadi. You know what I'm saying? I built my own foundation and my own thing. So a lot of my opportunities really came from me. There might have been some that maybe they looked at it like, oh, this is Rod's nephew, boom, boom. But again, me on the come up, it was like that didn't even matter. I had to go out there and show and prove, you know. And sometimes being the nephew of the God is like, it could be a gift and a curse, you know. So
That's what I wanted to give you credit for, because already when somebody knows who your bloodline is, you get hate automatically. See,
right.
One thing about our community, we suffer from bully coonism. Do you know who Bully Coon was?
Nah, who's that?
So Bully Coon was his nickname, Bully. And he was the man who wanted to make sure in a racist society, all the white men respected him by beating down other black men. And it seemed like that mentality has come where I gotta be the top dude and all y'all are under me. Let me just appeal to this man to get what I need, and y'all follow me. Instead of community coming together to congratulate or to appreciate what comes forth, it always is a hateful mentality of, I gotta do this to shut you down, so I'm the one.
Right.
And when you come from a stock that is respected, people want to, people can't destroy what was. They try to be more powerful than what is.
Mm.
And that has always bothered me about the culture, because you got people who help you, and then you got people who you have to sign to help you, only for them to rape you in the end.
Right.
So my question when it came to that is, as far as your stock is, were doors open? Were doors closed to you because of that as well?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say doors were closed, but there have been times where, if Unc wasn't there to co-sign it right away, it was like they wasn't really on board. Or I had people step away from me because they're like, oh, well, his Unc got him. You know what I mean? As interested as I am in this artist and he's dope, that's Rakim nephew. I can't really step on Rod's toes. That's Rod Neff. You know what I mean? So it was like both things was happening coming up.
Well, I want to just tell everybody who's watching this interview, JReadi is a person you should listen to if you like hip hop, because me, I like the underdog story and I want to see him win. And if you're like that, then you'll appreciate not only his music, but his road. Thoughts from the Island Part 2 is one of this, not the first song I heard from you, but it's one of the songs that made me think that the story that you're telling starts from within and then is told with outside. What's the most important thing you express in your music so people can feel you in here and to appreciate you up here?
Yeah, I always tell them where I'm from. I always let them know I worked for this. I always let people know, like, I built this from the ground up. I never had no silver spoon. I never had nothing handed to me. I grew up in the hood, you know what I'm saying? I went out there and I grinded and I capitalized. You know what I mean? I make it look good, of course, but yeah, it wasn't nothing handed. I had to go out there and I worked on my craft every day. You know what I'm saying? Every day. Even like bringing music to Unc and him appreciating some of the music, but sometimes we didn't make a next move. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, maybe I just got to get better. That might not have been the case, but in my head, I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna step up even more with my pen, and it just got me better and better over the years. Um, but yeah, I always try to represent who I am as a person. I always tried to be authentic. I never tried to like cap rap ever. And I always make sure I'm giving y'all bars in this music. It's like when I listen to rappers, again, I love to hear bars. It's like watching Allen Iverson dribble the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's like watching Vince Carter dunk. It's like it's exciting. So I always make sure, like, when I'm giving you pieces of me, I'm giving you the real, but then I'm giving you the swag, I'm giving you the bars, I'm giving you the cadence, I'm giving you the package. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about the song Evened Up and Who's Nels?
Dope, dope. I love that you asked that question. Nels is a fucking beast, man. Shout out to Cuzzo. That's my cousin. That's my first cousin, Nels. If you go through his catalog, he's very poetic. He loved them sample type beats. Again, when I was running with my crew, Fly Guy Fam, Nels is like a couple years younger than me, so he came up under me. Um, in high school, all me and my boys used to rap in my basement, smoke weed, chill, whatever. And Nels was kind of always quiet, and then one day he just started rapping. And like a lot of my cousins and friends, my peers were very inspired by what me and some of my boys was doing. So just to hear Nels, I'm like, yo, this guy, this guy's a beast, man. Evened up, evened up is a joint that we did together, one of many. Um, and it's just one of them ones. The beat bang. We both spitting on there. I'm killing the hook. Um, but yeah, even up is dope. Nels is a dope ass artist. I should definitely check him out.
I want to. Give him the message. Hey, Nels,
Yeah,
you
for
invited.
sure.
The mics are open.
Fire.
There's a song that you have that really touched me, though. I want to go through the singles before I go through the project.
Okay.
Tell me about Press Play, because even the cover art is very poignant for a reason. I want you to talk about that.
Yeah, that's dope. You really went back to the archives. That's fire. Yeah, press play. When I do that record, I did that record like 2015. I'm talking a lot of like how it was for me growing up in my grandmother's house and things like that. I'm talking about family in there a lot. The artwork on the cover is a picture of me and my pops. He passed away. R.I.P. to Pops. He passed away in 2016. Well, Pops was like a big influence to not just me, my brothers, all my homeboys, the whole community. He was just like one of those positive lights for everybody. Like a lot of my friends didn't have their pops growing up, so even to this day, like they all like got a lot of love for my pops, man. My pops was A1, man. Um, but yeah, he's on the cover of that press play joint, and my cousin actually, Rakem's son, my younger cousin Jabbar, he produced that beat.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So
okay.
it was all in the family and all that. And yeah, just the sound of it, it give you that real jazzy hip hop kind of feel.
I know on the I Know Y'all Miss Me project that came out, Andrews Ave also talked about your dad as well.
Right. Facts.
Oh, by the way, y'all, we listen to the music. We don't just bullshit
That's
on this
dope.
podcast. So one thing you said about your dad was not only how he influenced you, not only did he give you swag, he also taught you how to protect yourself, and your dad gave you an identity. Hip hop is that for a lot of people because for me personally, I have my dad in my life. Rest in peace, dad. But what my dad didn't show me, and what so many men don't show their sons, either the streets should show them or somebody else should show them. And hip hop showed me that this thing isn't a curse. That great things could come from this, us.
Real. That's
Hip
real.
hop taught me Black history when the school I went to didn't give me shit. Hip
Mm,
hop taught me how to appreciate Black women because I didn't come up in the bitch hoe era.
right.
Hip hop taught me how to appreciate a woman in a way where not only is she contemporary, but it taught our culture. What did hip hop teach you that made your dad a greater man to you because you did hip hop and you had him to influence you?
Man, that's a dope question. Mm. Um, Trying to think of that one because that's a really good question. Hip hop taught me a lot though. It definitely taught me a lot about the streets. Some of the things that Pops might not have touched on. He touched on a lot though. Pops was outspoken. He wasn't afraid to just tell it like it is. My mom used to be pissed, like, "I don't tell him that." And da-da-da. He told us about women early, diseases, all that. All the things we had to kind of watch out for. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop has taught me. I want to say hip hop taught me like confidence and strength too. Like it gave me a voice. It gave me a place to that where I belong, and it was like one of them things where it just gave me the platform to like just be myself. You know what I'm saying? It gave me the platform to be confident and show people what I do and who I am. It gave me something to stand on. And Pops, that's all he wanted to instill in us is just like be the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be a leader, be positive, and you know what I mean? Like don't let nothing really like discourage you and like keep your head up at all times.
To be successful in anything, you have to put a lot of time in, and you also have to give up something of yourself. What's the greatest loss you've taken since you started rhyming and making your own projects?
Mm. Maybe damn some I like recently I would say time with the kids and things like that. I mean I balance it very well. I'm a dad. I'm a dad's dad. But sometimes, because this is so competitive, this is something that I love to do. It's like I'm at this every day. So I had to learn how to kind of balance that. And now I sacrifice a lot of sleep sometimes. I gotta get up early. I get up early, I start my music. I record, I write, whatever I gotta do, then I go hit that gym, take the kids to school. But I had to learn that over the years because there's been a lot of times where I was just taking care of the kids and not really on my dean with the music, and that never felt right neither. So I had to find that balance. As a kid, I don't really feel like I lost nothing because I was still outside. I played basketball and I rapped. It might have saved me from a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like I was inside writing and recording and um hanging out with my brothers and my cousins and we was, you know what I mean? We wasn't always at the wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing because we was in them studios, we was recording, we was working on the craft. So it might have saved me from some things as well.
Shout out to you because that question and that answer perfectly set up where I wanted to go. The song Cappers. What's the hook of that song?
Rapper, some of y'all is cappers, half of y'all is lame, bro. The game going backwards. Niggas sound the same, dog. Rapping all the same songs. Gang with your chain on. It's hip hop theatrics.
And we know what's real? I had a conversation with somebody and they said that being a person that's real is rare. And I told that person, you got to understand though, being real is not built for everybody because everybody can't be leaders. And to be real means you have to be the light that outshines the lie to make the lie the truth. Make the lie bow to the truth. The truth is what it is. It doesn't apologize. It does not care if you believe it or not. It walks in strength. And in the song Cappers, you're talking about walking in strength because you believe in you. You are who you say you are. And when people do their homework, they know who you are.
Damn, I love how you broke that down.
Thank you. I'll listen to the music.
It's dope.
How important is it for you to be understood, heard, and felt so that the next project brings people more into your understanding, not into your beats?
It's very important. I just feel like I'm at the point now with the music though. It's like it's either you get it or you don't. It's either like Hov said, either love me or leave me alone. Like that's where I'm at. And I think when you are authentic, that's what you attract. You're gonna attract the people that really are in tune with what you got going on. And everybody else don't really matter. Unc told me this once too as a teenager because growing up, I think I probably did care a little more about who was liking it, who wasn't liking it. And Unc was just like, yo, it don't matter if 100 people don't like it. There's gonna be 1,000 other motherfuckers out there who's gonna love it. So you can't really focus on who ain't for you.
I agree perfectly because you know what? That brings up another question off your pro. See how God works? When you make great hip hop, it's easy to have these conversations, ladies and gentlemen, because all we doing is talk about not only what he does, but God's work. And God's work is always God said this, and I don't know if you believe in the Bible or the Quran or anything, but it says in the word, it says this: a man is supposed to travel the world to become very learned. So when he comes back to his people, he leaves them with new ideas. And you have a song called Local Minded. Talk to me about Local Minded and what inspired that.
Yeah, Local Minded is one of them ones where, you know, coming from a small city, coming from Strong Island, we always felt like in New York, we're the underdogs. Even though in the beginning of this, I was telling you, like, I low key feel like a lot of the pioneers, like the golden era was Strong Island, whether half of them was proud to shatter that or not. But the artists in Long Island now, I feel like we only care about who's the hottest out here, who's the best in Long Island, who's the best lyricist out here, who's this. We're not even thinking global, and that was my whole point when I made Local Minded. It's like I don't really care to be. I mean, I already, and I'm gonna talk a little shit. Like I already felt like I was the nigga out here. I've been him. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of dope ass artists out from Long Island that's doing their thing. No disrespect, a lot of great talent. I just think the focal point shouldn't be you know, let me be better than you. Let me be better than my neighbor. It's like, nah, we need to be aiming towards the sky. You know what I'm saying? So that's really where it came from. I wanted to like shed light to the city on that and just let people know, like, man, we trying to be legendary out here.
See how God works again. Because that goes into the next question I got for you. Hip hop is all about, the bottom line is living forever. And hip hop, we always argue the dumbest question about, is it a classic? Is it a classic? Instead of just appreciating the music for what it is. But when we have legends and people who make great music, it seems like hip hop nowadays, especially from the East Coast, everybody's trying to destroy the legends instead of celebrating the legends. In a lot. Not everybody everywhere, but in a lot of circles. Nas just dropped Light Years, right? Whether you like Primo's beats or not, I don't really give a fuck, because most of y'all miss the purpose of what Light Years is. And it's a piece of art. Like I said, people don't appreciate art. And Nas was rapping his ass off. But you know what people said? I don't like the beats. Nas fucked up again.
That was one of the complaints about that project.
But what about Jay-Z? Jay-Z made 444. Oh, Jay-Z's mature now. Oh no, the beats is horrible. He just talking. But when you talk, you don't want club bangers. You want beats that people will actually listen to you on.
Right.
So it seems like people want to be legends, but even the legends aren't getting respected. So what is the price of, or what is the cost of being a legend? And what price do you pay to put yourself on the road to being a legend?
Right. I think being a legend is definitely going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of naysayers. They're going to love you and they're going to hate you and love you again. Like, I think that's just part of the process. Even for not with Nas, for instance, he went on a freaking 6-7 album run before this Light Years project. And I think he dropped these within 3 or 2 years. And it's like some of the best rhymes I've ever freaking heard from him since like his classic stuff. And he was on them Hit Boy beats. I mean, they couldn't say nothing then, you know what I'm saying? Like he was on a legendary run. So again, they're gonna love you and hate you. They're gonna, they're not gonna like everything. And as an artist, I'm learning that now. Like it's just like as long as I love it, you know what I mean, and I'm putting my best foot forward. I'm trying to give y'all what I'm on at that moment. It's like that's just what it is and what it's gonna be. As long as that passion there and that fire is still there, I'm gonna keep doing it.
I have 2 more songs I want to focus on. I'm gonna let you choose. You want to stick to the album or you want to go to a single?
We can go everywhere. We can stay on the project right now.
Okay, so my last question about the project is going, from everything you said, Devotion was a great song to end the project on. Because when you're devoted to something, it's not this is who I am, it's pay attention because this is where I'm going.
Right.
And when most people are devoted, your words don't make you memorable, it's your actions. How does JReadi take his devotion to the next project, and how would he present that project to the world?
Dope. I think the next project is gonna be just leveling up a little more, giving you more concepts, giving you a little more of me, because I'm not trying to give it all in one joint. I'm giving y'all me in pieces. So yeah, definitely the next project I'm gonna give you a little more JReadi and just different things that I might have been through. And just different kind of records. Like I'm trying to elevate. I ain't really scared to jump on different kind of beats. I'm very diverse with the style. I even get into some melodic stuff sometimes as well. So I'm just trying to give y'all a little bit of everything without compromising my integrity. You know what I mean? So I think the next project is gonna be more in depth, more records, more me, and bigger and better sounds as well.
I love it. You know what's dope though? What's dope is what I love about hip hop is you never know what you're going to get, because if you get the same thing all the time, it's boring. This project sounded totally different than the song Matinee.
Right.
Let's talk about it. Tell me about Matinee and what is that setting up? Being that's the newest song you have out?
Yeah, that's the latest single.
Yeah, see how we do this? Yeah.
So yeah, Matinee is very intentional. Matinee, this is coming after my Shade 4-5 freestyle. And I'm not sure if you peeped that, but it was, it was raw, boom bat. I went in with a fire 16. So Matinee, I was coming off of that energy. And I just wanted to let niggas know, like, I'm gonna give y'all some boom bat, some gritty, some traditional, just me and my bag, me just talking my talk. And that beat was produced by my cousin Tamel, that's Rakim's oldest son. You know what I mean? So it was like it's only right. You know what I mean?
Well, let your family know they all invited to come on Heritage Hip Hop because look,
So
it's not like I said, I'm not really into the bloodline thing too much. I mean, I am, but the thing that most excites me is, and this is the last question on this part of the interview for you. The most important thing hip hop did was give black men, the opportunity to speak their pain, their reality, their love, their joy, and their value. What is the most valuable thing about JReadi that the world is ready for? They just don't know it yet.
damn, these questions are fire. I ain't never heard nobody ask me that. What's the most valuable thing about JReadi? Man, I want to say my authenticity, man. Um, just my willingness to never switch it up, to never be fake, to never fold and go with whatever's in, and never sell my soul. You know what I mean? I think that's valued, especially nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I remember being younger and looking up to certain artists that aren't really who they say they are. You know what I mean? And they might have influenced us and made us go the wrong way. You know what I mean? So I respect like the J. Coles and the Kendricks and these guys who have a lot of integrity behind their art. And that's me too.
I shout you out for shouting out other artists because I've heard artists say I ride my own D, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, yo, y'all, but and then they just I don't know. Well, forget them.
Hey,
We talking
for
about
me, I don't know. I got like a sense of like security within myself. Like I'm not scared to share the spotlight. I'm not scared to give it up or show the next person love because I never had a scarcity mindset. I always again was myself with this shit, and I got love just cause. You know what I mean? So I was never really worried about who else was nice or what. I just know I'm a go toe for toe with you. You know what I mean? So
hey man, look, I'm gonna be in Long Island very soon.
dope.
If the Most High allows it, I would love to shake your hand and give you respect. Not
Appreciate
because
that.
you're a
Dope.
rapper, but because you have the heart to tell your story. And I pray within the essence of the Most High's gifted giving that you're able to give your gift to the world. And whether you go 10 million times platinum or not, I pray that this sustains you in a way that not only can you take care of your family, but you're respected highly as a person to tell your story. And I mean that from my heart, bro.
Wow.
All
That's
right.
love, brother. I really appreciate that, man. That's real.
No.
That's
Yeah,
real. And
shout
then when you do come to LA, definitely holler at me, man, for sure.
well, definitely. On the
Yeah.
18th, I'll be right
Okay.
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
dope. So we'll figure
Shout
it
out to
out. Yeah.
John Jiggs and everybody. I will be out there.
Okay,
I
dope.
mean,
Dope.
so
So we'll
yeah,
make it happen.
no doubt. So everybody who's on watching, we thank you for watching. This interview's not over yet. I just want to put this on the screen. If anybody need a breakthrough, you want a great interview that talks about you and not the fuck shit that happens in the industry, book with us. You could appear on Heritage Hip Hop. Heritage Hip Hop is heard on every station, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Media, iHeartRadio. I am there. So wherever you have your phone, Heritage Hip Hop is there with quality interviews. Quality, no bullshit. And we're gonna go to the last part of the interview, which I call, well, let me put it up there so everybody can see. It's called the rapid fire questions. These are not yes, no questions. These are questions designed to show you the integrity and the deepness of the mind of the person who's speaking in the interview. You ready to play this game with me? You mind?
Okay, let's get it.
I got a couple questions for you. Question number one. What song or album from another artist, not in your catalog especially, what song or album from another artist perfectly describes you?
Song or album that perfectly describes me. That's
Yep.
not my out. That's not me.
Yep.
Hmm. That's a tough one. I'm gonna get one. I'm searching for one. I'm trying to figure one out
Mm-hmm.
that perfectly describes me. Damn. I got a couple in my head.
What you got?
Um, want to say I feel like I want to go in the Jay-Z direction. Um, maybe Jay-Z. Nah, I don't want to even do that one. Damn, this is rough. This is tough. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Let's go. You got it.
That perfectly describes me.
Perfectly.
Um, what's that? Is it? Damn, what is that Eminem joint called? I want to say Eminem, "The Way I Am."
Interesting. Why that one?
Um, because he said and he quoted Unc too. He's like, "I am whatever I say I am, and if I wasn't, then why would I say I am?" You know what I mean? That always resonated with me since a youngin'. It's like you are who you believe you are. You know what I mean? If you say you a king, and that's what you're gonna present to the world. That's gonna be the energy that you put out.
Okay. I like that. What's the perfect hip hop beat? Meaning, if you had this beat, it would have been your first single.
Perfect hip hop beat. So many, man. I want to say, damn, perfect hip hop beat. This, I want to go with. Let me do Nas halftime.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Wow, yo, yeah. Who is the producer that inspires you the most? What sound makes you want to pick up the pen and just creatively express yourself?
Um, what producer in particular? There's
Mhm.
so many, but because of my era, like I love all the '90s shit, but Just Blaze was killing shit in the 2000s, man.
Oh yeah, he came out of nowhere and
Between
killed
where
it.
he did, and that was one of my favorite albums. So it's between him. It's between Just Blaze and Pharrell.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a weird question because I respect your pen. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how I asked you about a song or album that perfectly describes you?
Mm-hmm.
If there was a versus between two artists, what two artists could do a versus that would perfectly describe you?
Damn, that's gangster. You gotta go Jay and Nas.
And that perfectly describes you. Wow, that's deep. Okay.
Yeah. Jay and Nas.
What does the world get from Jay-Z that describes you? What does the world get from Nas that describes you?
From Jay-Z, you getting a lot of you getting a lot of swag, a lot of style,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of ability to be able to make a dope record.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. And as far as Nas, just the way he's thoughtful, the way he thinks before he speaks, the way he like the concepts and the things that he decides to rhyme about, and the way he moves with integrity. I would say Nas on that end of the spectrum.
Perfect. All right. Let's continue. Your region, your homeland is very profitable when it comes to hip hop. Because not only did it help build hip hop into something phenomenal, it still lives on today. I think Brooklyn represents hip hop perfectly because Brooklyn was able to take their borough around the world in a song, beats, rhymes, etc.
Hmm.
If you could make the perfect Strong Island song, who would be your producer And who would be your 3 MCs?
Whew.
Just like
They
the
all-
Crooklyn Dodgers joint.
Okay, so a Long Island producer. Then that's a tough one. I got my 3 MCs though. We definitely gonna go with Unk number 1. Who else? Damn. I'm gonna go Eric Sherman on the production. I'm gonna go with Unk as one of the artists. I need 2 other artists from Long Island that's gonna smoke shit. Are we talking technical? Did they grow up in Long Island? They born in Long Island?
Uh-oh. Like the phone cut off. Let's see if he comes back, ladies and gentlemen. We were having a good conversation. What y'all think? Before he comes, until he comes back, I want to give a shout out to Crowned and Beats. I want to give a shout out to Mad Props. I want to give a shout out to Size 9. I want to give a shout out to Juliana Garza. Everybody who tuned in with the comments. Thank y'all for thank you for tuning into the show and giving me your comments. We want to see if this young man, this JReadi, comes back and gives us a closing to this interview. I see something popping up on his phone. Maybe he got a phone call. I don't know. Let's see. I see something going on the screen. While he's preparing to come back on the screen, yeah, he just dropped. While he's preparing to come back on the screen, make sure you stay tuned to Heritage Hip Hop. We have our we have our show celebrating Mass Appeal coming soon. Legend Has It. We're going to talk about the entire Mass Appeal run and what the Legend Has It did for the culture. Did it save hip hop? Maybe, maybe not. We're going to have an insightful conversation about that. Also, check out this. That's my hip hop superhero, The Prophet. Do you like that? You can own that. It's not a comic book yet, but what it is, ladies and gentlemen, is it's a t-shirt. And if you scan this QR code right here, that QR code is to order that shirt and to see other shirts and merch we have on our TeePublic store. So you can support Heritage Hip Hop by getting a t-shirt from TeePublic. This QR code is for heritagehiphop.com. Heritagehiphop.com is the home of Heritage Hip Hop, where you can find all our things. We're revamping the website, and we want you to be a part of it. Not only that, we also have a collaboration with Super 7, and that's that QR code right there. If you like hip hop figurines, he talked about being related to Rakim. Rakim has a figure. Him and Eric being Rakim. You got Trial Called Quest, Jay Dilla. We have those there too. And for your enjoyment, JReadi's back on the screen.
We back. Technical difficulties is through. Yeah, my bad.
That's all good. It's all good. So yeah, Eric Sermon, Rakim.
Yeah, so we got Eric Sherman as the producer. You said 3 LI rappers, 1 LI producer.
Yep.
This is the LI super rap team. Yeah, Ra, number 1. I want to go LL. Yeah, he rep Queens, but if you go do your history and your research, he was born in Bay Shore. He grew up around Bay Shore. You know what I'm saying? A lot of everybody out here know that. You know what I mean? I don't know if everyone else knows that, but we know that. Who else? I could always do I could go De La Soul. I think I'll go Keith Murray. Yeah, I'll go Keith Murray.
Very underappreciated artist in hip hop history.
Word up.
Very underappreciated. Yo, I wish that tragedy didn't happen to his career, because who knows what Keith would have been. That would have been. Enigma is a great album. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But you didn't say you. Any of your contenders.
Oh, I didn't know if I was included or not, but
you want to do another one?
Shit, yeah. If I could be included, of course. Me, Eric Sherman, and let me not even put LL. He's like a cheat code. Who else? I could go Biz Markie. I can go maybe Queso. Biz Markie.
Wow, okay.
Put him on a hook or something.
Okay, that's interesting. I rock with you. All right. We got a couple more questions in the rapid fire questions, and I'm going to ask you this. What's the most influential hip hop album in your life, and what was it?
Damn. I want to say it's between, because these are like the first albums I was able to like I begged my mom to go buy when I was maybe 12. I want to say Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP, the Chronic 2001, and I grabbed this one a little later, but DMX, Dark and Hell is Hot.
Those are great albums. The
I remember
bar,
just playing those albums back to back to back in my room as a kid.
yeah. I mean, I'm with you. That those are trend-setting albums, and the bar for an artist is to make their Illmatic. Now, after you put this, let me go back to my notes. I apologize. You put out the project. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
I know you miss me,
y'all
John.
miss me. You put that out. You have the potential to make a bar-setting album. I'm telling you what I hear from you that I told another artist, and she proved me right. You have the potential to make the bar-setting album that people need, not necessarily that they want. What does it take for artists to make that, in your opinion? So not only that you are remembered as putting out a great project, but you raise your own bar to be legendary in your own era.
Right, dope. And I want you to answer this for me too after I answer, because I would love to hear your perspective. I would say you would definitely need a dope ass producer to match the rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like we brought up like Nas and Hit Boy, and like with any great artist, Jay-Z when he did the Blueprint, he had the Just Blazers, he had Kanye. Like, you know, I think you need producers that are just as good on the same page as you to really cultivate and curate a dope classic type of album.
Okay. And you want my opinion on what it takes to make that?
Yeah.
Clarity. The end. Because if you think about every album that's a classic, you got clarity from it. Let's take those 3 albums. What was the first album? You said DMX is Hot Hell is Hot, right?
Yeah.
You got the story. You got the theme. You got the girl record. I'm not saying you need one.
Yeah.
But you got everything, bravado, bars. You got a person who can make a canvas and then explain the brushstroke as he painted the picture. You got heart. You got clarity, meaning you got the truth. Because even though you got Street Tales and you got the Love record, he also talked to God and put you in his mind where his demons were.
It's a big one, yeah.
That's that one. That's a classic album. What's the other one you said?
On the Marshall Mathers, Eminem.
That's the
Marshall
second
Mathers
one.
LP. Yeah.
No, that's the second one. That's the one with the Say I Am, right?
That's the second one. Yeah.
All right, think about this.
That's with Stan and all that shit on there.
He told you who he was. He told you about influence. He told you about being who he is. I'm the real Shady and all that, right? He told you about Stan. I never knew why. That's on there, right?
Yeah.
But he also pushed his pen because the best verse on Remember Me was Sticky Fingers, not him. So think about that. Clarity. I am who I am, but I'm not afraid to stand next to somebody else who's just as nice or as nicer than me.
Right.
What was the third album?
We did Eminem. I did DMX. Damn, what was the third album? Damn, what the fuck was it? I said Dark and Hell is Hot. How the hell I forget the third album? The Eminem shit. We did 3? Hold on.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Let's just keep it there.
Yeah.
For the sake of conversation. Most artists today either are too barred up or too one-dimensional. To make your story, describe your world. Talk about you existing in your world. Pain is relative. Everybody feels, love is relative. love touches different people in different aspects. Whether you love a girl, you love yourself, you love what you do, you love the art. But pain is universal.
Right.
Everybody knows what pain is. So if you could tap into pain and help people find their own love inside their pain, you made your classic.
That's deep. That's real. The third one was The Chronic, 2001.
Okay.
But that Jay-Z Blueprint was another one that one stuck with me for a long time.
I could do both for you real quick.
Yeah.
The Blueprint was celebrating nostalgia with a new sound.
Exactly what it was.
Chronic 2001 was reinvention through giving people new sound.
Right.
It all comes down to the beats, like you said.
Right. It was new. It was definitely something that you haven't heard before with them Dre beats. That was the first time I heard Eminem on a joint. It was definitely it was clean. It was something that we ain't heard before. That's for sure.
Think about this. On the Chronic 2001, Dre is not the star rapper.
Right. That's a fact.
So the production brought it out. Because I don't know what anybody else, everybody gonna go to Snoop and everything. But think about murderer, bitch, this is anybody. Murder, like, who are they?
Right.
But a hit.
Right.
Think about this. The most genius song on Chronic 2001 is some LA-ish, right? Because if you think about it, every first bar, each verse was a shout out to a LA classic song.
Yeah.
In my younger days, you used to sport a rag. You had that. I really in the hood called what the dev. What those are? Look.
And he took it even further and put the whole instrumental tape out. That's what got me. As a young, I was rapping all them beats. That's what got me. Like I started to be like, nah, this. I fell in love with the shit. Like,
yeah.
I had I 21 Dr. Dre beats.
Yeah. So just think about this. Most people rap to prove to the world they can rhyme. Legendary MCs talk to the world through rhyme. No matter how nice everybody say Jadakiss is, it wasn't until he made Why that the world paid attention.
That's a fact.
Just remember that. All right, man. How did you like being on Heritage Hip Hop? Would you recommend us to anybody else?
Oh, of course, man. I had a good time, man. I like the vibe. I love the conversation. You know what I mean? This has definitely been like a different kind of interview. And it's dope. And like the fact that you actually like listen and study the music is ill. You know what I mean? Because too many times a lot of up and coming artists go on platforms and the person interviewing never heard nothing really about them. You know what I mean? And they're asking the typical questions. You know, this was dope, conversational style. I really appreciated the vibes for sure.
Well, I appreciate you because you gave me something great to listen to. And like I said, whatever you want to come back on the platform, you can. This is just a podcast. I have other shows on here, like Off the Record, where we go through every song on the album and dissect it so people can appreciate each thing. Yeah, I do that too. So
yeah, I'll definitely come back when we drop the tape. I'll come back around and we'll do it. We'll do that.
No problem. So to everybody out there, make sure you subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop. Thank you to our guest, JReadi. Can you give me your social media so they can follow you, please?
Yes, sir. Y'all can follow me at JReadi. It's JReadi.
All right. Make sure you check out the project. I ask that you buy it. Stream it. See if you like it. But if you like it or you love it, spend the money.
That's love.
Y'all buy shit that don't do nothing in your life but waste space.
Right.
But give yourself music, because guess what? When the internet shuts down, or if it ever shuts down, if you don't own the music, you don't own your music. You don't have it.
Right. That's a fact.
Give yourself the advantage of owning your music. So with that being said, check out the preview of what's coming up next. May the Most High bless you. Peace.
Peace. Yes, sir.
hip hop.